Okay, so it is 2024 right now, and today we are doing an updated video of a video that I've been doing for the past 3 years. For the past 3 years, I have been talking to all of you about the best and the worst high interest savings accounts in Canada, and today we're going to do a 2024 version. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Reni. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm really excited that you are here. As you know, rates change all the time. Like literally every other day, they change every month, every week. We never know when interest rates are going to change. So just so you know, these rates are current as of December 8th, 2023. But if you're watching this later, of course you are, then you can use the links in the description box to go and see the exact rate on the day that you are watching this. I took a bunch of your feedback last year and you all wanted me to review all of these different accounts. So I've added even more than last year. So just so please give this video a like because of all the hard work and research that I had to do for this video. But when I review these accounts, I'm going to be looking at them and I'm going to review them from the highest non-promotional interest rate to the lowest non-promotional interest rate. Last time when we did this video, EQ Bank and Neo Financial were some of my favorite accounts, and I just want to let you know that they still are some of my favorite accounts. I do have affiliate links for these banks as well, so if you use the link in my description box and click them, there's a small commission that goes to me just to support my channel, but there's no additional cost to you. And just before we actually start the video, all of these banks have CIBC insurance or some equivalent, and basically what that means is that if you put your money in here, it is insured by this governing body. So I would never tell you to put your money somewhere where somebody could possibly take your money and it could all disappear. Okay, just so you know, all your money is safe if you open with any of the institutions that I mentioned. And even if you decide to open with a bank or a credit union or any fintech, make sure that they have some kind of insurance so that your deposits are insured. So through this video, you're going to see me looking at my laptop quite a bit, and that's because I have all the information on here. And what we're going to do is we are going to compare these different accounts across a bunch of different categories. So first, I'm going to tell you the account name, of course, and the bank name. Then I'm going to compare across the promotions that they currently have, the regular interest rate versus the promotional interest rate that they have, the monthly fees that they have for the accounts, the minimum balance that you need to get the interest rate, the rules that you need to follow in order to qualify for this interest rate, the fees for e-transfers if there are any fees, the customer service, and obviously I can only do customer service for the banks that I have used. We'll also get into the ease of use for the banks that I have used. And then I'll tell you if there is a debit card or a credit card, because that's something that you all said you wanted me to include in the video. And lastly, I'll tell you if there is a referral bonus for these accounts as well. For illustration purposes, I'm going to assume that all of you are rich. You know, we have lots of money and we are putting $10,000 in each of these accounts. And we're going to do it very simply. I'm not going to calculate on a monthly basis, but on an annual basis, if you had $10,000 in this account, how much would you have by year end? And we'll use that to compare across all of the different accounts. First bank that we are going to review is Neo Financial. Neo Financial is actually a fintech. It is a financial technology company and it is under Concentra Bank. So it does have that CIBC insurance, and the account name is Neo Money Account. They currently do not have a promotional interest rate, but they have a regular interest rate of 4%. That is huge. And I bet you the big bank that you are using right now pays you like 1% max, maybe 1.8%. So this is a really good interest rate of 4%. And it is a regular interest rate. It's not a promotional rate, which I love. I use Neo Financial, as I said, and my experience with it has been the user experience is super, super, super good. Like it is for people who don't like things that are very complex, outdated. It is for all of us who like simplicity. And I really love this account. When it comes to customer service, I haven't really had to interact with them for anything. So it's been really simple to use and I love that. I have had no issues for the past 2 years that I've had this account. So that's a good sign. If you want to get this interest rate, it is just as simple as depositing your money into the account. There are no specific rules that you need to follow in order to get this rate. And also the e-transfer cost is $0, which we all love. I can't believe that we pay for e-transfers at some banks. Like, it really doesn't make sense to me. When it comes to a debit card, no, they do not have a debit card, but they do have a credit card, and this is their cashback MasterCard. I use it pretty often. I would say it has really good perks. So if you are looking for a cashback MasterCard, check this one out. Lastly, if you had a $10,000 balance, by the year end at 4%, you would have $10,400, which I think is pretty great. They also do have a referral program, so I will leave the link down below, and you will get, I believe it's $25 if you use my link to sign up. So, check that out, get some free money while you open your account. So the next financial institution that we have is Wealthsimple. Wealthsimple is also a financial institution, not a bank. And you'll notice that a lot of the companies that I'm mentioning that have the highest interest rates are not banks. They are fintechs. And that is because they don't have their physical location, right? So they don't have to pay for rent or to own a building. And because of that, they can pass all those cost savings onto you and give you really high interest rates. So Wealthsimple right now also has a 4% interest rate for every single person that signs up, which again is amazing. I actually do have a Wealthsimple Cash account, and I need to utilize it more because I'm not utilizing it, and 4% is pretty tempting. So they have a 4% interest rate for everybody right now. But something that's really cool about Wealthsimple is they don't just have that 4% interest rate. They actually have 4.5% if you have $100,000 or more. They call these their premium clients. And if you have $500,000 in assets or more with them, then they have 5% interest on your account, which is unheard of. So we'll just go with the 4% because most of us don't have $100,000 that we have in our bank accounts. But if you do, just know that you can get even more than that 4%. You can actually get 4.5% or 5% if you have over $500,000, which I think is great. There is no monthly fee, there is no cost to send e-transfers, and there is no minimum balance to get this interest rate. When it comes to ease of use, I would say that out of all the banks, Wealthsimple is one of the simplest to use. It's in the name, Wealthsimple. And this account is extremely user-friendly because I feel like their target market is young people. So they wanted to make it as simple and easy as possible to use, and I will attest to that. I've been using them since I think 2020, like their investing platform. And I will say that it has been extremely simple. The user experience is amazing. When it comes to customer service, I haven't had to interact with their customer service at all, which again is a good sign. And they do have a debit card. It is called the Wealthsimple card. It's actually a debit MasterCard, which is great. So a mixture of the two, and you get 1% cash back on all of your purchases. So if you had a $10,000 balance at 4% interest, that would also be the same as the previous one where you get $10,400. The next account that we have is Saven Financial. Last year, Saven was number 1, but it has dropped a little bit to number 3. And Saven Financial is a credit union that is under First Ontario Credit Union. They are a relatively new institution. They started up in 2021, and their account is called the High Interest Savings Account. They currently don't have a promotional interest rate, but their interest rate right now, their base interest rate is 3.8%, also amazing. And they have no account fees, no minimum balance. The e-transfers are free, and there are no rules to get the interest rate. Obviously great. When it comes to ease of use, last year I was telling you all that I knew absolutely nobody who used Saven, so I couldn't give any feedback on this, but now I do know somebody who has used Saven Financial, and they have had a great experience with it. Also, if I compare it to last year, I was telling you that the user experience on the website was horrible, and I did not really that's one of the reasons why I didn't open it, because the user experience was so bad. But this year I went back on the website and they have improved it literally like 100%. And I love that. So shout out to Saven for improving their UX because it was pretty trash last year. When it comes to customer service, obviously, again, I have not used it, but I have heard good reviews about it from the person that I know that has used Saven Financial. The thing is, they do not have a debit card or a credit card per my knowledge and from what I could see on the website. So if a debit card and credit card is something that you need, I don't think this would be the bank for you or the institution for you. However, I think you don't really need a debit card and credit card with every single bank. especially if you're just using them for saving. It does not really matter. And it's probably going to save you a bit of money because you have to do e-transfers to take out your money. You can't just take it out by using your debit card. So I think that's a good sign. So if you're using this as a high interest savings account to stack your money, I think it doesn't really matter if they have a debit or a credit card. Lastly, if you had a $10,000 balance at this 3.8% interest rate, by year end, you would have $10,380. Next, we have one of my faves, EQ Bank. Anyone who's been following me for maybe like a few months, a few weeks, you'll know that I love EQ Bank. And if you have been following me since 2020, you know that in my very first video that I did comparing the different high interest savings accounts in Canada, I actually switched live on my video. It's from another bank to EQ Bank because I saw that the interest rate was so great. So the interest rate for EQ Bank right now in their Savings Plus account is 3%. And this is their base interest rate. It is not a promotional interest rate. It is their base interest rate. And that's one of the things I love about EQ. The rate that you see them give you is the set rate. It is not going to be up and down, and it's not a promotional rate. It is the set rate that they are giving you. When it comes to EQ, there are no monthly fees. There's no minimum balance that you need. There is no minimum balance to get the interest rate, and there are no rules to get the interest rate at all, which obviously we love. Also, there's no fee for e-transfers. So it's pretty much like it is a free account. When it comes to ease of use, I would say EQ Bank is very, very, very easy to use. It is my hub account where I get paid into it. Everything, literally everything goes into this account, and then it pulls from it for my different bills, and they are pulled directly from my EQ Bank account to go to other accounts. So I love it. I really love it. And last year, one of my pieces of feedback for EQ Bank was, unfortunately, there was no debit card or credit card at the time. So if you did want to pull out your cash, it was hard because you'd have to e-transfer the money from this account to another bank. But now they have a card, and it is called the EQ Bank card. This card, first of all, it's pretty, okay? I'm going to insert a picture here. It's very pretty. I really like it. And I think that's one thing I look for in cards, which probably is not the most important thing to look for, but I do like a pretty card. And second of all, they give you cash back on your purchases. There are free withdrawals from any ATM in Canada. So if you put your EQ Bank card into a CIBC ATM, you're going to pay zero fees, which I love. And then there are no foreign exchange fees, no monthly fees, and no other hidden fees that come with this EQ Bank card. So it's actually a perfect card for when you're traveling. If you had a $10,000 balance at this 3% interest rate, by year end, you would have $10,300. And there is a referral program with EQ. You can use my link, and I believe you get $20, and once you open your account, you can also share your referral code with other people, which is great. Now let's go on to the next one, which is Koho. Koho is also known as People Trust Company. I've never heard of that, but it's under the People's Trust Company. And Koho is a little bit of a mixture between like the big banks and the small banks, although it is a fintech, so it's not one of the big ones, but it has some of the characteristics of the big banks. So they have a bunch of accounts here. They have the Koho Easy Plan, the Koho Essential Plan, the Koho Extra Plan, and the Koho Everything Plan. And all these plans offer benefits like free international ATM withdrawals, credit score checks, and real-time e-transfer. So there are a bunch of different like plans, and I think you should basically look for the one that works best for you if you're going to go with Koho. They have no promotional interest rate, but each of the different plans that they have a different interest rate if you're saving there, which I thought was interesting. So actually the Easy Plan has a 3% interest rate, which is why it is basically on par with EQ Bank. But then the Essential Plan and the Extra Plan and the Everything Plan actually have a 5% interest rate. So that is one of the highest, or the highest that we've had so far, but that is, those plans actually cost money. So for the Easy Plan, it is $0 a month, but the Essential Plan is $4 a month, the Extra Plan is $9 a month, and the Everything Plan is $19 a month. Personally, I am not paying $19 a month for an account. How can I pay you for my own money? It doesn't make sense. However, I understand that Koho is mainly for credit building rather than for the savings aspect. So if you're just looking for the savings, then you can use the easy plan, which is $0 a month, but the credit building offerings that they have is really for the other plans that they give. So yeah, just something to know. There is no minimum balance that you need in order to get this interest rate, and the cost for e-transfers is $0, so free. When it comes to ease of use and customer service, I do not have any experience with Koho, so I can't really comment on that, but I do know a lot of finance influencers that I know personally, and they use Koho and they have liked it. So that's probably saying something positive about them. When it comes to debit cards and credit cards, they have a prepaid Visa debit card, which is good for credit building. And it's really helpful if you're a newcomer to Canada. I know that it's can be pretty hard to get credit. So I love that they have this option for newcomers. So if you had a $10,000 balance and you're using the easy plan at 3%, that would be $10,300 by year end. Next, we have TD Bank. TD Bank's account is called the E-Premium Savings Account. They actually have a few different savings accounts, but this one is with the highest interest rate, so I decided to go with this one. This is the E-Premium Savings Account, and they currently do not have a promotional interest rate, but their base interest rate is 1.85%, which for a big bank is very, very good, I will say, okay? Because most of the big banks, we'll get into that, but most of the big banks, they don't really compare. So 1.85% is their interest rate. There is no monthly fee for this account, but to get this 1.85 interest rate, you need to have at least $9,999 in the account. If you have $9,000, or say you have $9,998, you actually get no interest, which does not make any sense to me. So once you make sure that if you're going to open this account, you have at least $10,000 in the account so that you can actually get the interest. When it comes to ease of use, I've been using TD Bank since I was 4 years old. That was the first account that my parents ever opened for me when we moved to Canada. So I've been using TD for literally my whole life, and the ease of use is very simple. It is very easy to use TD. They have some great UX on their platform as well. So I am a fan of TD. The customer service as well, I would say they are great. And fun fact, if you call them through the app, then you get prioritized instead of just calling their help number. So make sure that you call through the app if you need help with your account. But I find that anytime I've ever had to call TD for anything, I would say the customer service has been very good. Do they have a debit card? Yes, of course. They are a big bank. They also have a credit card. And if you had that $10,000 at 1.85% interest rate, then you would have $10,185 by the year end. Next, we have RBC, or Royal Bank of Canada. Their account is called the High Interest E-Savings Account. Right now, okay, this is one of the best that we have so far when it comes to the promotional interest rate. So their promotional interest rate is 5.5%. However, it only lasts for 3 months. So I think they kind of reel you in with that interest rate, and then it's like after 3 months, it goes down to 1.7%. Okay, so you kind of have to pick your battles. Do you want to have that extremely high interest rate for a very short time, or do you want to have something that is long term? That really depends on you. When it comes to this account, there is no monthly fee, there is no minimum balance to get this interest rate, and they do charge you for e-transfers, which I'm just like, what? So they charge you $1 per e-transfer that you do. And if you want to take money out of your account with your debit card, you get 1 free debit monthly. If you're wondering about the rules to get this interest rate, there are no rules. Just sign up for the account and you will get this interest rate. When it comes to ease of use and customer service, unfortunately, I've never used RBC, so I can't really comment on this. They do have a debit card. They do have a credit card. If you were to have $10,000 and you were using the base rate, then you would have $10,170 by year end. So the next account that we have is HSBC. HSBC has an account called their High Rate Savings Account. And they also have a lot of other savings accounts, but this was the one with the highest rates. And they currently do not have a promotional interest rate. They do have a regular interest rate, which is 1.35%, but it's if you have $24,000, $24,999.99 or less, they will give you that 1.35% interest rate. But if you have more than that, so say you have $25,000, then you're getting 1.85%. So I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know why they don't just give everyone the same interest rate, but yeah, they prioritize people who have $25,000 or more in the account. There is no monthly fee for this account. There is no minimum balance to get this interest rate. I guess, yeah, so once you have 0 to 25,000, you're getting that 1.35% interest. The e-transfer cost is 0. When it comes to ease of use and customer service, I cannot comment on this because I've never used HSBC, but I know a lot of people that do use it and they are satisfied with it. When it comes to debit cards and credit cards, yes, they have a debit card and yes, they have a credit card. And if you were to put $10,000 into this account at 1.35%, this is $10,135 by year end. Next, we have Scotiabank. Scotiabank is a very interesting one, but they have a few savings accounts, and the one we're going to focus on is their Momentum Plus savings account. So when it comes to the Momentum Plus savings account, they have a 5.6% interest rate, but this is a promotional interest rate and it only lasts for 3 months. Their regular interest rate is 1.3%. That is their base interest rate. And let's figure out the rules to get this interest rate. Again, it's a little complex, so this will have to be on the screen. But basically, they have their regular interest rate, which is 1.3%. But if they have this thing called a premium period interest rate, which is basically if you keep the money in the account for a set number of time, it will give you a little boost on top of what you currently have in the account. So if you keep it for 90 days, they're going to give you 0.85%. If you keep it for 180 days, they'll give you 0.9%. If you keep it for 270 days, which is almost the whole year, they're going to give you 1%. And if you put it in for 360 days, they'll give you an additional 1.25%. Then they have something called the preferred interest rate boost, which is another boost on top of this. And they have these customers that they call their preferred package customers. You'll have to look into the regulations to become one of those customers, but they will give you a boost of 0.05% on top of that. And if you're an ultimate package customer, then they'll give you 0.1% interest on top of that. They also have that welcome boost that I mentioned earlier, and this is just for people who open their account brand new, and they will give you that interest for 3 months. So in total, that is 5.6% that you could possibly get. However, I don't know, there are a lot of rules, and I feel like that's a lot of work just to get that extra little boost for your interest rate. But basically, I like that it incentivizes you to keep your money there, because the longer that you do save, the higher your rate ends up being. When it comes to e-transfers they have a cost, but if you transfer the money from your savings account to your checking account and e-transfer from your checking account, then it becomes free. So that's something that you can look into. And if you do take out money from your account, it's $5, which does not make sense to me. $5 for a debit transactions. I don't know, maybe you could just take it out of your checking account again by transferring it from your savings account to your checking account and then taking the money out of there. When it comes to ease of use and customer service, I do not have this account, so I cannot comment on that. And when it comes to debit and credit cards, yes, they do have both of them. Lastly, if we are going to use that base rate of 1.3% and you put $10,000 in, that is $10,130. So the next bank we're going to get into is Simplii Financial. Simplii Financial is a bank under CIBC, and their account is called the High Interest Savings Account. So Simplii actually has a 6% interest rate. However, it is a promotional interest rate and it only lasts for 5 months. And this is until January 31st, 2024. That's when you have to open the account by. I will say that over the years, I have a Simplii account. Over the years, I think Simplii will give the promotional rates even to their existing members or customers. So I think that is a good part about Simplii. Like right now, I think my Simplii account has like 3 or 4% interest rate. So they still, even though their base rate is only 0.7% right now, based on their website, they do give us promotional rates all the time. So don't worry if you are going to open Simplii, don't worry, they still do give you some good rates over the year. When it comes to the monthly fee, there is no monthly fee. There is no minimum balance to get this interest rate. And there are $0 e-transfers, so you do not have to pay for e-transfers. There are also no rules to get this interest rate. So once you put your money in, you will get it. The ease of use, so far, it has been pretty simple to use Simplii. When I first set it up, I did have a little issue getting my card, but that was a me problem. That was not a them problem. And when it comes to customer service, I really haven't had to use them except for that issue that I had at the beginning. And so far, it's been so good. When it comes to credit cards and debit cards, they have a debit MasterCard available. If you had a $10,000 balance at 0.7%, by year end, it would be $10,070. But remember, Simplii will give you more than that by year end. I just can't give you the exact number because I don't know. Also, they have a really good referral program where if you sign up using somebody's link, then they will get $125, I believe it is, and so will you. So use my link if you want to open a Simplii account, okay? So we can both get some money. Next, we have the Bank of Montreal. BMO's account is called the Savings Builder. They also have another account, but we're going to focus on Savings Builder because it has the highest interest rate right now. And they have a 2.5% interest rate when you add $200 a month to your account. So what this means is that their base rate is actually 0.5%, which is pretty low, I will say. But if you put $200 per month into the account, they'll give you a bonus rate every month of 2%, which I think is a good way to kind of encourage you to continue to put money into your savings account. Because if you don't put that $200 a month, then you don't get that bonus interest rate, and then you only get the 0.5%. So if you are someone who needs help with like discipline and someone to encourage you to save, then this could be a good account for you. When it comes to e-transfers, on the website, I really couldn't find any information about what you would pay for an e-transfer. When I did work at this bank, I did not have to pay for e-transfers because I was an employee, so they gave us a free account. So I'm not exactly sure how much it does cost in order to send an e-transfer with BMO. When it comes to ease of use and customer service, I've had no issues with BMO. It's been very easy to use. And they do have a debit card and a credit card if you are looking for one. And they do have lots of options. I think this is the good part of using a big bank. They have lots of options for their credit cards, not just a MasterCard, but they'll have like 4 different types of MasterCards available for you. If you had that $10,000 balance and you had that 0.5% interest rate, by the end of the year, you would have $10,050. Now we're going to get on to the very last bank, and thank you so much if you're watching this long. I know this has been a pretty long video, but if you're still watching, please give this a like because it does help the channel grow, and share this with somebody so they can see if they're using the right bank right now. The last bank that I'm going to mention is PC Financial. Anyone who knows me knows I am a PC Financial stan, but honestly not for the interest rates because they don't offer an interest rate. So let's get into this. It is called the PC Money account and they have 0 promotional interest rate, but get this, they also have 0 base interest rate. So there's absolutely no interest rate that you get on your PC account. However, you get points. So you get PC points for every purchase that you make, both on your debit card and on your credit card. There is no monthly fee with this account. There are no e-transfer fees. There is no minimum balance to get the interest rate because obviously there's no interest rate, but it is a completely free account, which I love. However, if you do not collect PC points or you do not value PC points, then it may not be the best account for you. Although I did notice a few glitches recently, but overall the account is very easy to use. The app is very easy to use. The website's very easy to use. If you are somebody who loves PC Optimum, this is a great account for you because again, when you're using your debit card or your credit card, you are accumulating points. I'm going to insert a screenshot right here, which shows how many points I've accumulated this year. And that gets me free groceries, free skincare products at Shoppers, free anything you want that's at No Frills, Superstore, Shoppers, all of that brand stores. So if you are, again, someone who likes PC Optimum points or you're trying to figure out a way to accelerate how you get PC Optimum points, then maybe this is an account that you should look into. Again, they do have a debit card, they do have a credit card, and if you had $10,000, they have a 0% interest rate. So by year end, you will have $10,000 as well. However, you will have some PC Optimum points if you are spending in this account. So these are all the accounts that I will be covering today. If you want my next year's video to include more banks, please leave those banks down below, or credit unions or financial institutions below, so I can make sure to include them for next year. I do take your feedback, so just leave a comment down below. Overall, again, there are so many different accounts that you can open. Choose the one that makes most sense for you, and don't get lured in by those promotional interest rates because they will only give it to you for a few months and then you're back to the base rate, which is usually lower than a lot of the fintech's base rates. So make sure you choose the one that makes most sense for your situation. If you are someone who is making excuses as to why you can't change your bank. Maybe you're being lazy. In 2024, I want you to cut that out, okay? I want you to be on your game and try to make your money work for you as much as you can. Getting interest every month is one of the easiest things that you can do it's like an extra source of income that you're generating without having to do anything. So this could be a move that could get you a few more $100s over the year, which a few $100s does go a long way. So again, if you did like this video, I am so grateful for you for watching. It means a lot to me if you would like this video, if you would share it with someone else, and if you would subscribe to my channel if you do enjoy this type of content. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye.